On today's episode, are we there yet? The family road trip film that goes from being slightly annoying to horribly tragic. We're giving you our review of Alexandre Aja's 2006 remake of The Hills Have Eyes. This is Chocolate Chip Horror. Hello, monsters, minions, and masters of the macabre, and welcome to Chocolate Chip Horror, the only podcast with ooey gooey horror goodness in every bite. I'm the Wolfman himself, Anthony, and as always, I'm joined by my wife, Andrea, the Queen of Harpies. On this podcast, we review and nerd out about horror movies and snack on delicious treats. Andrea, what's on the menu today?
We have delicious chicken wings.
Now, I'm a big fan of chicken wings.
I know that you are.
Tell me a
you
little about
really
these
love
wings.
these.
Yes.
Stranded in the scorching heat with no sign of civilization, you're going to need something to fuel your survival. Oven roasted high and dry on a cooling rack to lock in the maximum desert crispiness. These wings are tossed in a smoky mesquite blend and an amazing, sticky, blood red pomegranate molasses glaze. It's a brutal, gory, and delightfully messy pairing that brings all the sun-baked carnage of Sector 16 straight to your plate.
I just want to say, when you see the video clips and pics of these wings, oh my God, they actually look like they're covered in blood. They look so brutal, but they taste amazing. So they've got this like dry rub on them first, which is delicious all by itself. But then when you pair it with the deep red, sweet and tangy pomegranate molasses glaze. First off, I didn't even know pomegranate molasses glaze was a thing. So that was a very exciting thing. I was like, wait a minute, what are we getting? And so you put this blood red pomegranate molasses glaze all over these wings, and it goes from being a tasty wing to like God tier. It's bloody murder on a plate, and I'm here for it. Like, you got to see the picture. So, all right, we got our snack.
Have our snack.
It's a bloody mess, and I love it. So now, I guess we should just jump right into it. As a reminder, our reviews tend to be rather spoiler heavy, so if you want to bail out now so you can watch the film before you listen to our review of it, now's the time to make a run for it. So I'm going to give you a quick and dirty synopsis. The Hills Have Eyes, released in 2006 and directed by Alexandre Aja, stars Ted Levine, a.k.a. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. It's also got Kathleen Quinlan, who played Peters in the 1997 sci-fi horror film Event Horizon, which you know is one of my favorite sci-fi horrors of all time. I don't care what anyone says, I will die on that hill. Event Horizon is top-notch for me.
Meanwhile, I can't remember a single thing about it, even though I've seen it more than once.
So that means we have to watch it again tonight, which is fine. We can do that. I don't have a problem showing you Event Horizon again. In fact, I would love to, as long as I get to eat these wings while I do it. And besides her, we got Dan Bird, who, honestly, he doesn't have a whole lot of horror movies in his filmography. He was in the 2007 sequel to Hills Have Eyes, and I think it might have been more of like a flashback. But he was also in the 2005 horror mystery Mortuary, which I have not seen yet. But he did very well in this movie. So anyway, we got Big Bob Carter, and that was actually the main character from the original Hills Have Eyes, and his wife Ethel, and they're road tripping from Cleveland, Ohio, all the way over to San Diego, California, via the Mexican desert. I don't know how smart of a decision that was, but whatever, they're road tripping. It wouldn't have been me. Along for the ride are their three kids, Bobby, Brenda, and Lynn. And then we got Lynn's husband, Doug, and their baby girl, Catherine. So we got a full house here. Family tension is moderate. But Ethel, being the mom that she is, she's determined to make every family trip special, including this one. She wants everybody to pray and just get along, stop using foul language. You know how moms are. So along the way, they make the stereotypical stop at the stereotypical lone gas station, where the stereotypical shady gas attendant is, played by Tom Bauer in this, who I personally remember from Die Hard 2. I don't know if you saw that, Andrea, but
no.
That's where I recognized him from. I haven't seen him in pretty much anything else other than this movie and Die Hard 2. But he plays the sketchy gas attendant, and he tells the family, you can save time by taking a detour just up the road. And, of course, Big Bob, who's all about trying to make this itinerary, he decides to take the detour. And, of course, they end up wrecking the truck. How do they wreck the truck? Because They end up driving over some very strategically placed spike strips. That blows the tires out, causing them to skid out of control. And instead of just hitting the brakes, Bob just slams the entire truck with everybody in it, even the attached trailer, into like this huge rock, totals the vehicle. Everybody's scared. They're screaming. They're all getting out. Is everybody okay? He's pissed. He's throwing his hat down. He's mad. So while they're attempting to like get their bearings and figure out what they're supposed to do next, they've got the hot desert sun beating down on them. It's not the best situation to be in because nobody has driven by to help them or anything like that. What they don't realize is that they just got marooned in probably the worst spot in the desert, and they're far from alone. So that's the backdrop. Again, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. At the time of this recording, you can stream it on Fandango, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV. So I just want to say right off the bat, this film is the epitome of violence. It's rough. Like, and it doesn't let up. Like,
No.
that's the thing. Like, it's already bad, but it just doesn't let up. We see a lot of films where we're like rooting for the villain. You know, we're like, you know, we don't really have a relationship with the characters. We're just like, oh, they're fodder. I can't wait till they get slayed. But like, you feel really bad for these people, and so things escalate quickly. They don't let up. It's not a family film. Unless your family is twisted like us, in which case I guess that you could enjoy this. But yeah, it's a rough ride. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now again, this remake is actually directed by French director Alexandre Aja, who also gave us the film High Tension in 2003, which I enjoyed. I saw that in theaters, thought it was amazing.
Did he do Crawl too?
Yes, he did 2019's Crawl, which is also one of my faves. And in this film, we do see a lot of that signature 2000s flair and the influence from French horror films. He definitely puts that in there. You can really tell just by some of the shots that you get, and obviously the gratuitous violence. I mean, not to spoil High Tension for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there's a scene where somebody gets their neck slit, and it's pretty brutal. I was like, okay, like that's what we're dealing with this.
I can honestly say that this is a film that I've seen numerous times over the years. I think I saw it when it first came out. I owned it on DVD, and then we rewatched it specifically for this review, and it still, I just, for some reason, it just really, really gets to me.
It's so bad in so many different ways. Obviously, they're an innocent family, but just for them all to be going through all this stuff, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If you haven't seen the film, they like allude to the idea that one of the dogs was killed, and you do see something.
Oh, it's not alluded. Like, it definitely happens.
Yeah, well, I guess what I mean is you don't see.
It's not seen on camera.
Yeah, it's not seen on camera, but yeah. And so if that is your trigger and you can't watch anything that even goes in that direction, don't watch this film.
There's quite a few triggers.
Yeah, there's quite a few triggers. Now, this was a remake, obviously, of the classic 1977 film by Wes Craven, who was actually a writer on this one. And I got to be honest, maybe it's because I wasn't a true horror fan until like a little bit later in life. Like a lot of horror fans, they've been watching horror since they were in elementary school. It wasn't like that with me. I didn't start watching horror until I was like in my late teens. But a lot of the earlier horror films, like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the original 1977 Hills Have Eyes, I just feel like you had to be there. I respect them, obviously, for what they did for the genre, but they're not exactly fun to watch. When I watched the original Hills Have Eyes, I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, we get to see the great Michael Berryman, for example. But to me, that film sort of drags. I know that you kind of had the same opinion about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You were just like, I've seen it once. Like, we don't need to see it again. Like,
yeah.
It's whatever, you know. And I know that's probably going to get a lot of shoes thrown at me because there are some purists who feel like if you don't like the original, then you can't call yourself a horror fan. Like, I was there when those films were being shown, and that's awesome. I was not. You know, I may have seen the covers in Blockbusters when I was renting things, but I actually never got a chance to see some of those earlier films until way later, and by then I was kind of desensitized. So.
Hey, and at least we do make a point to actually watch the original and see the remake.
Yes.
So it's not like we just say, oh, I saw the remake, I don't need to see the original. We usually try to make sure we do both. I mean, even I will read a book if there's a film that's based off of a novel or something like that.
Right, because we're trying to compile as much reference material as possible so that we can give a what I would consider to be an unbiased opinion of the film. But I just put that in there because I wanted to make it clear. I did watch the original, and I wasn't really a fan of it. So the original was brutal in its own right.
It
Obviously.
actually really was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I can't imagine how people felt about that film in 1977. But I can only speculate that that was probably rough for them to watch back then. So, but yeah, the remake turns up the tension to like 11. It turns up the gore. And as uncomfortable as it is to watch at times, in my opinion, it's still an enjoyable experience because you want the family to survive and eventually get revenge. So you're continuing to watch because you're like, it can't possibly get any worse. There has to be a turnaround. Like, where does it come in? And you're just like constantly waiting for that turnaround.
Absolutely. And I don't know if we ever truly get it.
It depends. Like it does get all tied up at the end, but
Sort of.
But like, how much did they have to go through to get to that point? Like it's not
right.
exactly the happy ending. It's just like, okay, we survived.
But then we can tell that somebody is still watching them. So
Right.
it's like they survived on camera. We don't know what happened off camera.
Right. Once it ends, you're just like, great. So technically, they're still in danger.
Definitely not the best situation considering the fact that we have a character who had fingers cut off and was bleeding heavily after being, brutally attacked multiple times. And then we have a baby and we have literally no food or water
Yeah.
at all for any of the humans. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily want to say that the ending was bleak because there were survivors, but if you think about it, where are they going to go now?
Yeah.
Like they're in the middle of the desert. They don't even have transportation now.
So because it's like even if they make it to the gas station, like there's nothing to drive at the gas station.
Right. There's nothing to drive at the gas station. The attendant blew his head off, so he's not even there. The phones don't work. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
The beginning montage of the film I thought was really awesome. It reminded me a lot of the beginning montage of the movie Seven, or like American Horror Story, where they're giving you those flashing images of deformed babies and like the sound and everything. It was a very similar vibe. I'm not sure if American Horror Story borrowed that style from David Fincher, who directed Seven, or if this movie kind of influenced that. I don't know. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've seen this kind of thing before. And it works for this film for sure, especially with that like cowboy music playing in the background. I don't even know who that country singer was, but that juxtaposed with these horrible images of deformed babies, I was like, okay, that works for this, but it's still pretty creepy.
The same thing is done during the opening sequence of Dawn of the Dead in 2004 too, right?
Yep, good call because I didn't remember that one. So you got Big Bob, who's clearly your typical God-fearing conservative ex-detective, loves his guns, loves his country. Then you got his wife, Ethel, who's sweet, and she just wants the family to spend time together, And then you got Doug, who is Lynn's husband, and he's a cell phone salesman. You don't really expect much from him. The film makes it very clear that he is a pacifist. He's not into violence. They even make fun of that when they pull out the guns and he doesn't want anything to do with them. Big Bob's like, he's a Democrat, And so the film kind of sets it up to make it seem like he's probably going to be one of the first people to die. At the beginning of the film, he's sort of grumbling to Lynn about, couldn't we have just taken a plane? You know what I'm saying? Like he's not happy with the situation at all. And even after telling Lynn, your family doesn't really like me, he's still trying his best to get in their good graces. When Bob goes to pay for the gas, Doug offers to pay, and Big Bob's just like, I can still afford the gas, Doug. And he pays him anyway. It's just like, he was just trying to be nice, man.
Right, like he couldn't win.
Right, they won't give him a chance. And so the film is leading us to believe that he's an extreme pushover. So we assume, okay, he's going to die, no question. So then they set this tension up from the beginning, and then the way things actually play out, Doug ends up being like essentially the hero.
Yeah, and Big Bob dies first.
Right. and in a horrible way.
In a terrible
They
way.
burn him alive. You can hear him screaming. And then, that's bad enough. Like they zoom in on him being burned alive. But then they zoom in on his face. You can see his eyes go completely white.
Yeah.
Like he's seriously about to die from his burns. And I was just like, wow, you didn't have to make it that bad. It was already bad enough. But now I'm seeing this man seriously dying. And when they finally put him out, he's already dead. It was too late. At some point, Doug makes a complete 180. His whole attitude changes. I mean, he wasn't the only one that lived, but no one expected that guy to be the one,
Right. I mean, he didn't really have much of a choice but to step up.
Yeah, because they stole his baby, they killed his wife. He had to kind of become the hero, and he did. Now, when they first arrive at that one gas station, after their interaction there, that's when things quickly start to take a turn for the worst. And we've all seen this same trope in so many different movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wrong Turn, House of a Thousand Corpses. Everybody's stopping at that one gas station. And after stopping at that gas station, everything that happens afterwards is always so bad.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm okay with that trope anymore. It's getting a little stale.
It does make sense, though, for a film to include a gas station stop, especially if you're making such a long trip.
No more stopping at gas stations. I think if anyone is a horror fan at this point and they're deciding to take a road trip, you don't stop at the sketchy gas station.
No, you need to go to Walmart and charge your car.
Right. Just exactly. Plug your Tesla up and
Yeah.
then just continue on your way. I think part of the reason that this film is so scary is obviously it's super gory and the situation's just bad all around. But, as you're watching it and things are about to pop off eventually, you don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to go down. But you know that everything that is happening is setting it up for horrible things to happen. So from the moment Bobby finds that his dog Beauty was sliced open like a lake trout, things are going to get worse and
poor
worse.
Beauty.
It's so bad. And then everything else after that is just worse and worse. Gas attendant committing suicide in the beginning, super brutal. He blows his whole face off. You see the whole thing.
And I think also, not just that he did it, but then he was hysterically sharing, I did the best I could. And was he basically admitting that he's the father of the mutants in the hills? I don't even know, but he was just rambling, and then next thing you know.
Yeah, and he had done it in the beginning. He was like, I can't do this anymore. And I don't know if it was one of those things where he was basically saying, I'm tired of luring innocent people to their death for you guys, but obviously he doesn't want to put himself in a situation where he's the one that gets attacked. So he just decided to check out early. And again, hard to watch.
And yeah, I mean, he's completely luring people, because one thing that Doug discovered on his walk is that it was a complete dead end, the route that the gas station attendant sent them on.
Right. And then obviously Big Bob, when he makes it to the gas station and he sees all those newspaper clippings and stuff about what happened there, and he puts two and two together, he's like, he led us here.
Yeah.
He actually led us here, and by then it was too late.
Too late.
Everything else that occurs after that just continues pushing it. When the mutants break into the trailer and start sexually assaulting people, and one of the sisters gets raped, everything that you see is just pushing the envelope. Even in 2006, I was just like, this is a lot. Can they do that?
So much.
Yeah. Can they? And the movie only had an R rating, right?
Yeah, I think that there was the possibility of it being rated NC-17, but I think they had to cut some stuff just a bit, which I'm honestly rewatching it just the other day. I was just like, you know what? If they had given this an NC-17 rating, I would have understood why.
Yeah. It's rough. It's so unforgiving. Doug goes from being this little timid little cell phone salesman to a true dyed-in-the-wool certified badass. Unfortunately, it took him losing his wife, his mother-in-law, his father-in-law, and then having his daughter taken from him to evolve into that. But when he did, it was quite satisfying to see. He definitely turned the tables on them. And it wasn't just him. Bobby and his sister
Brenda,
they had to watch their mom being killed. You know what I mean? And so like they're dealing with the bodies, and Bobby's trying to console his sister. So Doug and Bobby both had to kind of like step up. But when Doug decided to take matters into his own hands, like he went in there and he regulated.
When you think about it, Bobby got off the lightest.
He really did. The only reason he got hurt is because he fell off that cliff.
Yeah. And that was just him not looking where he was going.
Right. Once he found out that Beauty got mutilated, he goes just running, and he misstepped, fell off a rock, and hit the ground. And then Ruby, the young girl mutant who was actually nice, she wasn't actually trying to kill people and stuff, I feel like she's the reason that he was able to find his way back to safety.
Mm-hmm. But it's like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm like, literally nothing happened to him aside from having his hoodie stolen.
Right. It's a little strange, right?
Yeah.
Because Doug got beat up. Doug got put into an icebox full of human body parts.
Got his fingers cut off.
He got his fingers cut off. Like, he got ran through the ringer. But Bobby got off light.
Yeah. So I'm glad that he was able to step it up and help out. I mean, granted, his idea, I don't know, I feel like it took away their only shelter, but at the same time, but they would have really wanted to stay there anyway, but they didn't pack any food or anything,
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a ballsy move, basically rigging up the only means of shelter that they had and turning it into one big bomb.
For just one mutant.
Like they were being attacked by one mutant, and when the bomb went off, obviously he died, but there goes your food, your water, clothes, anything that you could have used is now up in smoke. Now they're in the middle of the desert with pretty much nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was rough watching that, because I was just like, well, now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite kills?
I love when Beast goes to save Doug,
Mm-hmm.
and he attacks the mutant who's in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because that mutant, got under my skin so bad, because on one hand, you're like, oh, well, he can't really do anything. But, then he's sitting there and he gets on the walkie-talkie and he's like, kill the baby. And
Right.
I'm like, oh, my God, somebody please do something about him. And here comes Beast saving the day.
And, it's really weird because, when he explains to Doug why they are the way that they are, you hear him talking about this and you're like, I mean, that was kind of a dick move.
That is unfortunate.
Right. But then, then you find out he's kind of in control of all the other mutants
Yeah.
and everything that they're doing. And you're like, okay, no, he got to go.
Uh-huh.
They all got to go. And so, it was weird because they wouldn't be mutants if it wasn't for whatever our government did in that area, Sector 16. But they're killing people and leading them to their death, stealing from them, eating people.
Eating them.
I enjoyed the attack from Beast. I was like, yes, redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, all my favorite kills were when they obviously got the upper hand, when Bobby and his sister rigged up that trailer and blew it up. That was satisfying. But like you said, what are they going to do with all that stuff that just went up in smoke? It's scary because aside from the fact that they lost all that stuff, we don't know how far away they are from civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the mutant who is clearly watching them at the end before the credits roll doesn't attack them and they don't get it, how long do you have to be in the desert without food and water before you die? It's not long.
Yeah.
And they got a baby with them too.
Yeah. And the baby, we know, was breastfed, so there's definitely no breast milk available.
Right. If they had any in bottles that was prepared already, it went up in smoke when that trailer exploded.
So sad.
We find out towards the end, obviously, that this area that they called Sector 16, it was a test area for the government used to test nuclear weaponry years ago. But there was an actual town there with people living there, and the government told them to get out, and they had to go to the mines. So then they go down there, the government dropped all the bombs, completely leveled it, and all the people suffered the remaining nuclear fallout, mutating them, mutating their children. So whoever didn't just die from the bombs themselves, they were heavily affected by the fallout, and that's essentially why they have this grudge against anybody who visits that area. And they've been doing that for years. They could essentially keep making these films, or even like a TV show, because there's probably going to be a bunch of people who are like, let's go on a cross-country road trip, Like they could have just kept doing this over and over and over again.
I mean, they turned Wolf Creek into a series.
Yeah, I felt like the Wolf Creek series worked because we had a very charismatic villain who could just continue killing people over and over again.
Yeah, and I mean, we have how many Wrong Turn films?
Right. They could have probably stopped those films after like the first one. Not very fun. Just ridiculous.
And we've seen every single one.
We have. And I mean, if they come out with another one, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about movies, even when you know they're bad. Like, we went to see The Strangers 3, Chapter 3, knowing that it was going to be bad. I don't think either one of us knew that it was going to be as bad as it was, but just because we knew it was bad didn't stop us from saying, well, we have to see it. We have a problem.
No, we went in with our expectations very, very low.
Right.
So I think that helped the situation with The Strangers Chapter 3. I expected it to be as terrible as it was.
But it still frustrated you watching it.
I was just like, what are we even doing?
Right.
Yeah, Strangers Chapter 3, no.
Just thinking about it, you're just like, ugh, why did we even waste our time?
But we really commit. We commit to things.
Right. The effects in this movie were actually really great, too. A lot of good-looking mutants, great blood effects. This is one of the films that I typically use to support my argument that practical effects still look better than CGI, if only for the blood effects. I really hate it when CGI is used pretty much ever.
Yeah.
But I really hate it when you see a modern horror film and they use CGI for blood sprays and spatter. I'm like, wait a second. You trying to tell me you can't figure out how to make fake blood and just like fling it or splatter it? Like, why are we using CG for blood? I never understood that decision. I honestly feel like it would cost more to do it that way than to just make a big vat of fake blood and then just toss it. It never looks good. It always looks fake. Like, you can tell when it's fake blood, like CGI blood. So I don't understand why they did that. But in this movie, they obviously used lots and lots of practical effects and fake blood. It looked great. The makeup was great. I'm a big fan of mutants. I've loved mutants since I was a kid. Ninja Turtles, Toxic Crusader. I love
X-Men.
mutants. X-Men, yep. So this film did them justice for me. I would have loved to have seen Michael Berryman do a cameo. That would have made me happy. Even if he wasn't one of the actual mutants, like if he was just like maybe working with the gas station attendant or, just a random cameo by him, that would have made me happy. But I imagine either he was busy at the time or they just felt like that might be a little on the nose. I mean, when you think of the original Hills Have Eyes, he is the face of that film.
Oh, yeah.
So if he was in it, everybody would just be like, he's got to be either reprising his role, which he wasn't because there was another mutant that they deemed to be Pluto, or he's another mutant that's attacking them. I don't think anybody would have taken it seriously if he was just like one of the, like a police officer or something. Like, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, you got Michael Berryman. Like, you got to use him the way that he's meant to be used. And maybe in this film that would have just been a little too obvious. So he did have a cameo in Devil's Rejects, though. And I was really happy with that.
I mean, you just love the Devil's Rejects anyway.
I do, but I mean, that scene with Michael Berryman where they're talking about the chickens, like, oh my gosh. If you've never seen Devil's Rejects and you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to YouTube and type in Devil's Rejects chickens. I'm not going to say any more than that, but it's funny. And that scene has Michael Berryman in it. And it's a great little scene. All right. So we've talked about the gore. We've talked about how bleak and just unsettling this film is. Did it have a good story? I think it did. I mean, it was pretty close to the original.
Yeah, very similar.
And I appreciated that. It wasn't like shot for shot. They still made some creative changes. But for the most part, it followed the original movie pretty closely. Like I said, it took the violence and just the sheer gratuitousness of it all to like 10 times over. So, how are we going to grade this one? What would you give this? It's a hard call because if you rate it high, it might look like you're almost glorifying just how horribly tragic the movie is. Like, I give it a 10. I'm glad everybody died. But, like, if you give it a horrible rating, like 1, because, like, it was so bad, then it doesn't seem like you enjoyed the film. And I'm pretty sure that both of us, despite how rough it was to watch, we still enjoyed watching it.
Oh, this is one of my favorite horror films.
Right, mine too. So what are you going to give it?
Sorry, I know you said that we don't give partial scores, but it's going to get a 4.5 cookies for me.
So 4.5 cookies. I don't have like an official title for 4.5 because 4 basically means it's tasty. 5 means it's delicious. So 4.5 instead of tasty, I guess it would be
scrumdiddlyumptious.
I mean, that sounds like that should be 5. I don't know. Scrumdiddlyumptious. I would definitely give it a 5, specifically because even after all these years, I can still watch that film and just be like, oh my gosh, what am I watching right now? You know? And, you know, just to talk about really quickly the acting in that movie, it would have been really easy for everybody to either over or under act. But I think everybody did a really good job giving the impression that they were in the situation that they were. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel fake. It felt very genuine. And it had me clutching my pearls, and I don't even wear pearls the whole time. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what are they going to do? These guys are everywhere. They're just killing everybody. Like, the whole movie, everybody's going to die. So, yeah, even years later, I can watch this film and still be completely grossed out, completely scared, and just still enjoying all the ridiculous violence of it. So, yeah, I have to give it a 5. So 4.5 for you, 5 for me. If you have not seen this film, you definitely should, but I don't think you should watch it with your kids.
Oh, no.
Unless you're bringing up a horror-loving family. Like, if you're essentially the Addams family, have at it. You know what I mean? Throw them in the deep end. You know, they're going to watch it at some point anyway. But yeah, 5 cookies. Delicious. And just to be clear, I think I speak for both of us when I say we personally would not have even decided to drive from Cleveland to San Diego. Like, that's not something that we would do.
Nope.
We would definitely take a plane.
No, Team Doug.
Right. But just for the sake of argument, if we actually did drive through Mexico to try to get to California, we're not stopping at a gas station and asking for directions. Especially not today. I mean, my GPS is fine on my phone, and if I don't have signal and I can't use my GPS, then I'll just have a map with me. We are going to go the main route. We're not taking any shortcuts.
No.
We're not talking to any gas station attendants. If they ask us where you headed, I'm going to be like, I don't know. Thanks. Bye. And just fill the car up and drive away.
And the thing is, you wouldn't be lying because you probably really wouldn't know where you were going anyway.
Yeah, I have a really bad sense of direction anyway. So, you know, this is not the time to have a, hearty conversation with a gas attendant who is going to try to help me by leading me to my demise. We're not even going to have that conversation. I'm just going to drive. So there you have it. You Crazy Mutant Babies 2006 reboot of The Hills Have Eyes. I guess we'll give it, you gave it a 4.5. I gave it a 5. What's the average? 4? I don't know how to do averages.
Maybe 4.75.
Fine. 4.75 cookies. Scrumdiddlyumptious. That's going to wrap it up for this one. We want to thank all you slashers and scream queens for tuning in. As always, make sure to head over to Chocolate Chip Horror Substack, grab today's recipe, and read all the notes about it. That way you can make those bloody wings yourself. Then head over to the official Etsy store. That's etsy.com/shop/Chocolate Chip Horror. Go there. Get yourself one of our limited edition Terror Bite cookie tins. That's the new one. Each one is marked 1 of 10. So you got 10 chances to grab one. If you're quick, you might be able to get one. You never know how fast they're going to sell out. That's why I keep reiterating this. You got to be quick because I don't know when they're going to sell out. So also, make sure that you visit us in the digital graveyard. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, subscribe, Share your thoughts in the comment section. We definitely want to hear from you. What did you think? If you actually saw 2006's Hills Have Eyes, what did you think about it? Did you think it was like one of the most brutal movies you've ever seen? Was it like meh, baby's first horror movie? Did you prefer the original or over the remake? Let us know in the comments. And with that, I say, until next crime, I'm the Wolfman Anthony.
And I'm the Queen of Harpies, Andrea.
Now get out of our graveyard.